Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another morning market watch on this lovely Saturday. It is Saturday, September 7th. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully, if you guys are going to a World Championship envelope tournament this weekend, I wish you all the best of luck. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, and if you really enjoy, make sure to subscribe. But let's get straight into it. So starting off, as always, with our best-selling card. So Fiendsmith Engraver is down to 90. That's kind of expected after the Lacrima hit, and I think after this Worlds format, we might see a slow trend down towards 80, 85. It's still an insane card. The engine's really powerful. The rank 6 pool is very, very good. I mean, it's balanced by the fact that it's kind of hard to get a level 6 on field sometimes. But yeah, so these guys are going down. So if you are looking to pick them up, I mean, now is pretty much the time, especially before Rage of the Abyss introduces more Fiendsmith support. There is going to be even better Fiendsmith cards in Rage of the Abyss, so I would say pick them up now if you want them. But again, this isn't financial advice, this is purely entertainment, but I think that's a good idea. Merchomi Pirellia is going up to 55 now. I won't say this is a bad card to pick up. I do think this card is good. I think it's situational, but it is good. But I would say don't pick them up until Rage of the Abyss, because Furos is going to just tank this. It's such a better card. There's an argument that with side deck spots being so impactful, you don't even want to run Pirellia outside of a dedicated going second strategy like Tenpai. Elzetta the White Forest is up to $40 a copy. Not a bad card. Like I always say, this is a really interesting card. It's a really interesting rogue deck. I wouldn't even say it's rogue. It's like tier 2. So yeah, if you have them, I mean, maybe consider offloading them. I saw them peak at $40 a couple days ago, but it looks like they're settling back down to the 35, 37 range. That grass looks greener is going down to 27. Not surprising at all. People are realizing that even with things like Thrust and Left Arm Offering, this card is kind of hard to get to and kind of hard to resolve. You almost always, like if you see 60 cards, you're just going to hold an Ash Blossom for the grass, and it's gonna hurt. That being said, I don't know why people are picking these up. I have no idea why people think they unbanned this card, and with the Tins and Quarter Century Bonanza coming up, they're not gonna put this card in there. I mean, that'd be a great selling point, so no idea. Scylla Hat Rabbit, this is kind of interesting. Let's check this out. This card is climbing up. You can see it's $20. Was just about 10 to 12 about a week ago. And yeah, this is climbing up to $20. I mean, it is a really good card. It's a very good Link 2. It's kind of a better inboard piece than now that Appaloosa is gone. So yeah, I guess if you've had a couple copies of these rotting in your binder, congratulations, you made about 10, 20 extra dollars depending on how much you got them for. Phantom View Bell is 45, no surprise there. Nightmare Throne is 30, again, no surprise. I think those are about where they were. SP Little Knight is 65, interestingly enough. I don't know why people are buying this. I know sales have been increasing, but it doesn't make any sense because it's getting a tin reprint. It's been confirmed. There's absolutely no reason to buy this, but people are. Same thing with Thrust. This has gone up from $30 to $40 for the OG Secrets. Do people not realize that they're going to drop to about maybe $15 after the reprint comes out? I don't know. LZ is 20. Wanted is up to 25, and Dia Bellstar is up to 30. We knew that yesterday, or I think they were up to 40 a piece on the last Market Watch after the ban list dropped, but these two are climbing back down. I think people are realizing that the hits to Ash and Poplar do hurt the deck a good amount, not a significant amount to make it unplayable, but enough to make it you question whether or not you want to be playing this over something like Yubel or a deck that just hasn't been hit at all like White Forest. Bonfire is 23. This makes sense. This is climbing back down after we got the confirmed reprint. There was a little bit of buyout hype after the ban list considering it didn't get hit, but I have no idea why anyone think that this would get hit. Bonfire does not make any sense to get hit, but it is still a good card. Dominus Purge is 14, and SETI is up to 27, which is surprising considering we did get a confirmed reprint for Insetti this week. Bone Party's 30. Secret Chaos Angel. I did hear that this climbed up to $60 while the ulti stayed at about 35, and now it's climbed back down to to 40. So this is a confirmed reprint. If you don't have Chaos Angels, please just wait. I mean, you could probably get a playset of Chaos Angel for the cost of one secret right now in about 2 weeks when the tins release. Speaking of the tins, I will be doing speaking of the tins, I do have a case of tins coming in the mail, and if you guys want, we can do an unboxing video. I have done one unboxing video on this channel and it did very poorly, so I'm a little bit hesitant to, but I think a case of tins is a little bit more enticing than one box of Duelist Nexus. Speaking of previous videos, our last Market Watch didn't hit 10 likes, so we're not going to be doing the budget deck Market Watch this week, as you can already tell, but I decided to lower the goal. If you guys can hit, let's say 5 likes, I think that's a reasonable amount. We had around 50 people view the last Market Watch, so if 1 in every 10 people like that video, we will get our budget deck Market Watch. I'm going to be covering 12 budget decks from different price ranges, play styles, and even some, interesting decks that I think have potential. Other than that, 10 Pipe Dragon, Pydrups, 10, 12. I mean, this deck, it can play with one field spell, I'll admit it. I mean, I have the deck like right here. It can totally play with one field spell. That being said, it does feel much less resilient. Nightmare Apprentice is 26. I would just say hold these. It's not going to get reprinted in this year's tins, so if there is with the new Evil Hero support or new Chimera support that comes out, this will see an uptick in price, so just hold them. Lows, I believe, are going to get reprinted. They're definitely going to get an ulti print, I know that, but they could be in the tins as well. So I would say maybe consider moving your lows, especially if you're not playing Voiceless Voice. It's really not holding up too well to the meta, even with the ban list, but oh well. Protoss is 40, makes sense, didn't get hit, people thought it would get hit, it didn't. Lars up to 18, and Quem, an interesting card here, is up to 30. That's it's a little strange. I mean, Quem is a guaranteed reprint in the tins, but I guess in a world where you have fewer copies of Branded Fusion, you need more copies of Quem to balance that out. So getting onto the individual cards, first one I want to cover is Therion King Regulus. Level 8 Machine and Therion, he gets an Omni Negate. Pretty good card. $1, $1.50 for copies from the tins, and let's see how much OG secrets are. $2 to $3. It's a really powerful card. There's tons of decks that can take advantage of this. It's just a card that's waiting to be broken, and considering it got its reprint last year, at this point it's going to start climbing up and up and up little by little. So get your copies now if you don't already have them. But I think it is a card that has potential. Up next, I want to cover Caius. I saw this. You can see that the OTS 19 copies that came out, I think 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago now, are up to $5 a copy. So check your bulk bins if you have any sort of Caiuses in your bulk bins. There's a nice little payday for you. I want to cover Assault Synchrons. This card has always been waiting to be broken. I remember I saw YGO when this card was releasing saying oh, this card's only $15, make sure to pick up your copies, and now you can pick up a playset or 2 for $15. You can see they're only about $3 a copy right now. But I won't sit here and say this card doesn't have potential. I mean, during your main phase, special summon it, take 700 damage. That's a free level 2 Dark Machine tuner. You can't special summon except for synchros. If it picks up Dragon, Synchro monster you control is tributed or banished. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one of those monsters, special summon it. This card is very, very strong. It's just waiting for a deck that breaks it. So I would say pick up your copies now and just have them for whenever there's a Synchro Dragon strategy that you want to play. I want to cover the Melodious cards. They have dropped significantly since they originally saw play back when Legacy of Destruction came out. First Movement solos, you can see, are down to $7 or $8 a copy. Really not that bad, all things considered. This might be in Quarter Century Bonanza. It very well might be, but being able to pick up a playset for $8 compared to the playset for $20 a piece they used to be is not bad. Same thing with Ostinatos. These things used to be $3 or $4 a piece. Now the Soul Fusion commons are only about $1, and the Gold Stark copies are same price, about $1 per. So if you want to play Melodious, Schuberta's also only about $2 to $3, depending on what rarity you get. If you really want the star foil, you can pick that up. I actually, interestingly enough, I opened a power cube from Walmart, which never open those, they're bad, but I was feeling, funny. I was like, oh, let me buy one of these and open it up. And I did actually pull a Spanish Schuberta star foil from a star pack. Really funny. I got really hyped for about the 20 seconds I had it. But yeah, I played Melodious for like 2 locals, and then I kind of stopped playing it. And I was playing a Melodious Scarecrow build, so that was kind of interesting. I want to cover Fishborg Blaster. This card is a card from Ancient Prophecy and Turbo Pack 6. You can see the Turbo Pack 6 is about $50, but the Ancient Prophecy card is going up and up. It was about 50 cents. Now it's up to $1, even $2 for a decent condition copies, depending on the edition. So again, this is a card that I check your bulk bins. I'm assuming this is a Edison card. If you control level 3 or lower, Water Monster, discard card, special summons card from your graveyard. If it's used for a synchro summon, all of the synchro materials must be water. So maybe there's a frog deck that's coming around that people are using Fishborg Blaster from. Maybe there's just something interesting that you can do with Fishborg Blaster, and maybe like, I don't know, Deep Sea Diva or something like that. So yeah, if you have these in your bulk bins, pull them out. They might be worth a little bit in a couple days. I want to cover Pilgrim Reaper again. I know I've been covering Pilgrim Reaper like every market watch, but I did want to say these cards have officially reached the $1.50 to $2 mark. So if you haven't picked up your copies and you think you want to play something like Tier, I would say this is your last chance to pick them up on the cheap. You only need 1 copy for Tier Limit, and you don't even need the Fiendspith cards for Tier Limit. You can make this inherently with the not inherently, I should say. You can make this with the Destiny Hero Malicious and Dangerous line that they used to make Beatrice. You can just make Pilgrim Reaper instead. We want to cover Blue Eyes cards. So with the Blue Eyes structure deck and Dragon Master Magia being a $800 to $900 card, that is the optimal build for Blue Eyes. I'm not going to say Blue Eyes is going to be like the most meta deck in the world, but if you do want to play Blue Eyes, there are a couple cheaper budget options for you. So the first one is Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card is pretty strong. It only came out in the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack, but it had 3 rarities in that, so it's not super hard to get your hands on. Looking at the cheapest copy here is about $5, $6, but you can see at the end of at the damage step, if this is the only face-up card you control and the fusion summon card attack, you can send Blue Eyes Fusion monsters from your extra graveyard. This card can make a second attack. It can attack twice. It is 45. You can only use this effect up to twice per turn, so it can make 3 attacks. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, targets a Blue Eyes monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Negate that activation if you destroy it. It basically just gives you multiple attacks at 4,500. Pretty strong card, but it's kind of not that great. We can also look at Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card is kind of interesting. It's only about $1 to $2. This card is unaffected by traps, must be fusion summoned or special summoned by sending a Blue Eyes equipped with a fusion monster, so kind of interesting summoning mechanic. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, so just like Boral End. And then once per turn at the end of the damage step of this card battled, target a trap in your graveyard, place it up in your spell trap zone. So this is kind of nice because it's unaffected by trap cards and effects. If a card like True Light gets popped, it's not going to destroy your field, or it's not going to destroy this card. So this is kind of interesting. It's a decent card you can fusion with Ultimate Fusion, so it's not terrible. The other card that I think we want to cover is Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, there it is. So this card was a solo print from the 2019 Gold Sarcophagus tins. Again, through it, 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects. Once per turn, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card is fusion summoned using a monster whose original name is Blue Eyes, it can target up to 3 cards instead. So again, it's just kind of a big body. It's just kind of one of the better things you can summon off of Blue Eyes or Ultimate Fusion. That being said, I think it's a clear card that could be reprinted in Quarter Century Bonanza, and even though it's not great, honestly, out of all of them, I kind of feel like Tyrant Dragon's better. Sure, your opponent can't target or destroy this card with card effects, but I don't know. I feel like this card being so much cheaper, if you want to play Blue Eyes, it's not going to be super competitive. So Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon's fine. Same thing with Ultimate Fusion. I think you only need one of it, so you can just pick up the cheaper copy here at about, they're both about $2, but it's only going to be 1 copy, and it could be in the structure deck as well. Then lastly, I want to cover some floodgates. I know it's kind of weird to say, oh, let's talk about floodgates. But the truth is, with skill drain being gone, people are going to look at other options for floodgates. Like being able to activate skill drain and then turn it off with a Dispel Star, or send it to the graveyard for a White Forest card is just too strong, and people are going to look for other options. So one card option is Tyrant's Tirade. Tribute 2 face-up monsters you control. Either player can activate the effects of monsters that activate on the field or in the hand. So this is a skill drain and a, I believe, mind drain on one card. You do have to tribute 2 face-up monsters to do that, but there are decks that don't even care about that restriction. So definitely a card to consider. It is a solo print from Storm of Ragnarok. It's about $1 to $1.50 per copy, so maybe consider picking it up if you think there's a deck that you might want to play it in. Deck Lockdown is another card. You can see that it was in Light of Destruction, so that's gotten a 2020 reprint. But other than that, I mean, it's a $2 card. It says, if you guys don't know, either player can add cards from the deck to the hand except by drawing them. Monsters cannot be special summoned from the main deck and destroy this card during your second standby after activation. So this is really powerful against like Fiendsmith and Yubel. Because you can't special summon monsters from the main deck. So Yubel can't summon Yubel off of Spirit. They can't summon Terra Incarnate off of the actual Yubel. You can't summon Fiendsmith off of the Requiem. So actually a pretty strong card. And again, it does turn itself off after your second standby phase, so it lasts for like essentially 3 whole turns. So your first turn, your second turn, and then it turns itself off. So yeah, so not the worst, a pretty strong card. It's been waiting to see meta play, but I think it's just been outclassed by things like Summon Limit and Skill Drain up until now. And the last card I wanted to cover was a card I saw being played in Vanquish Soul. That's Power Sink Stone. Each time a monster effect is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. While this card has 2 spell counters, face-up monsters on the field cannot activate their effects, and their effects are negated. During the end phase, remove all spell counters from this card. So what you can do with this card is activate something like Borger and then Caesar on your opponent's draw phase to like draw a card and then like pop a card, and then it shuts off your opponent's cards just completely. But then on your turn they go away, so you can activate a couple more effects. So it basically just lets you kind of like one-sided like floodgate out your opponent just by using things like Borger draws and Caesar pops. The last card I want to cover is Arms of Genex Return Zero. Geez, that's a mouthful. This is a level 10 synchro, requires a Dark Tuner, but if your opponent activates a monster effect, banish a monster from your graveyard with the same attribute, negate the activation if you do destroy that. You can only use each attribute once per turn. So it basically is 6 negates if you have all attributes in your graveyard, but more often than not, it's only going to be 1 or 2. The deck that's making the most use of this right now is actually Dragon Link, by making it with something like a Bystial and a Rocket Tracer. You basically get 1 negate guaranteed, but if you have something like a Seifert or a White Dragon, something in your graveyard, you can have 2 negates for a light and a dark monster, and then because it banishes them, it'll trigger something like a Regain. So pretty interesting card. It's only about $1 right now as a secret rare from Terminal Revenge. So if you don't have a copy and you think you might want to play something like Dragon Link, or basically just a dark synchro deck, this is a pretty solid card to pick up. So that is all for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, again, make sure to leave a like. And if you really enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. That is all for me. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.